This is OneWrestling.com, 24/7 wrestling news.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. I am the mark of the masses. I am the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some TNA. And today we're going to talk Impact 8/30/2012. The Bound for Glory series is winding down. Cowboy James Storm is in first place, and whoever gets that first place will basically get a bye. We're going to find out who the top 5 guys are at the end of the night. A lot of big points up for grab tonight. Tonight was a big pivotal, let's just say it was very pivotal towards who was going to do what and what was going to happen later on, or what is going to happen later on in the Bound for Glory series. But anyway, we start off with a video recap of the Aces and Eights, and basically the havoc they've been wreaking over TNA. And Austin Aries last week basically was in the ring. Aces and Eights, they found a way of well, number one, we all thought it was just 8 members. Well, apparently not. Apparently there are a whole lot more members than what we thought. Last week, as we know, the entire TNA roster was basically battling these guys, and the more they fought, the more Aces and Eights members showed up. But they were able to, and I said it last week, divide and conquer. They were able to move everybody away from the champ Austin Aries, and Austin Aries was left in the ring to get his hand slammed by a chair on the guardrail. Really tough for Austin Aries, but Austin Aries comes down to the ring, and he basically challenges Aces and Eights, and he says, "Look, you know, my hand is hurt, but I'm a lefty." So basically, they hurt the wrong hand. He wasn't medically cleared, apparently. The doctors will not clear him to wrestle, but he can fight. He can still fight. So basically, he challenges the Aces and Eights to a fight tonight. Well, Aces and Eights don't show up. You don't hear from them. Hulk Hogan's music hits, and Hulk Hogan and Sting actually come down the aisle, and they well, actually not down the aisle, but they stand at the top of the ramp, and they're both holding baseball bats, and they also challenge the Aces and Eights to a fight, and they also, on top of that, give Austin Aries their support. Whatever you need, champ, whatever you need tonight. Well, while this is all going on, finally we go backstage and we see the Aces and Eights celebrating what they did. And the fact of the matter is, they said, you know, you can challenge all you want. You can say what you want to say. But we're going to do things our way, and on our terms. But we'll see what happens later on tonight as we move on. Okay, so we go backstage and we see ODB in a video vignette basically breaking down the fact that she hasn't seen Eric Young for a couple of months. And the truth be told, if this was any real-life situation, this dude would have been done. She would have left him like I would have left a steaming pile of poop on the side of the curb. Actually, you should really pick that up behind you if you have any pets. But anyway, I guess you understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, man, I mean, no fried chicken, no beer. Nobody knows where Eric Young is. Well, we all know he's filming his fishing show. But anyway, we move on, and we find RVD versus Cowboy James Storm. And I did feel that, and I don't like to criticize because I'm not a professional, but and I'm not a writer, and I'm not a professional wrestler, but I think there was a lot of this. You see that? A lot of this week, and not enough of action. But when there was action, and when TNA sticks to their wrestling, I think they can't be touched. I think they have some of the best matches. But anyway, it was one hell of a match between RVD and Cowboy James Storm. RVD putting forth another good match this week. I've been praising RVD the last couple of weeks. I think he's been doing a phenomenal job. Towards the end of this match, which was basically back and forth most of the match, but we have RVD trying to do a front-rolling splash into the corner while Cowboy James Storm was hurt. And Cowboy James Storm perfectly times a super kick to the gut of RVD and gets him for the 1, 2, 3. So now he's number 1, and he gets a clean pin on RVD. So now looks like Cowboy James Storm's going to get the bye, but we move on. We'll find out. So now we have Madison Rayne in the ring. And Madison Rayne basically stated that she got a phone call from Brooke Hogan saying that she will have a match tonight. Now, I guess she kind of assumed that she was going to have a match, a rematch with Tessmacher, the Knockouts champion. Nope. She actually ends up in the ring with ODB. ODB comes down the aisle, and she says that she also got a phone call from Brooke Hogan, and that ODB will be challenging Madison Rayne. Well, they get in the ring, and Madison Rayne doesn't look like she wants to have any part of her. She basically starts, she cuts a promo and basically calls her trailer park trash. Well, while this is happening, ODB is basically taking a swig of her her liquor, or from her flask, and she spits the content into the face of Madison Rayne. It was a pretty quick match. She picks her up, hits the bam. 1, 2, 3. ODB goes over Madison Rayne. We move on. So we go to a recorded backstage segment of the three judges for Gut Check, Taz, Pritchard, and Al Snow, basically talking about the kid Chris Louis. We all know about his tragic life, and unfortunately, we saw what happened last week in the ring. And again, not a professional wrestler, but to the naked eye, I don't think the kid did so well. I mean, if I were a talent coordinator, or if I was one of the head TNA talent people, I definitely wouldn't hire this kid. Again, this is my opinion. I would like to know what you guys think. Maybe you guys think he was good enough, but I didn't think Chris Louis really did anywhere good enough to you know. The funny thing is, where is Joey Ryan? Where's Joey Ryan? I mean, Joey Ryan is the freaking man. I'm one of the 87%, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we move on from there. The video package is over. We see backstage Hogan and Sting, and they're basically approached by Kaz and Daniels, and Kaz and Daniels look like they're scared out of their mind. And they basically make sure Hulk Hogan knows that they have an ironclad contract, and that they cannot be fired. They are the champions, and they put themselves over, and Hulk Hogan doesn't want to hear it, brother. You know, he basically tells them, you know what, you guys are going to fight. And I can't stand you guys, but you are the champs. But get ready, because you're going to fight, and it's going to be when I want you guys to fight. So basically, they get scared off, and they leave the backstage area, and we move on to a really, really, really fun match between Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. Now, talk about back and forth. This match, it was a weird, not weird, I shouldn't say weird, but it was a different match for AJ Styles. AJ Styles trying multiple submissions. This was, whenever you hear me say it was a back and forth match, this was a back and forth match again. Really, really fun. We move into the match, and we see towards the end, we see Samoa Joe with the rear naked choke on AJ Styles, and now AJ Styles reverses the rear naked choke into a solid looking armbar, and it looks like Samoa Joe's arm is getting hyperextended there. Well, Samoa Joe kind of rolls over, hooks AJ Styles' legs, and gets the clean 1, 2, 3 pin. So Samoa Joe goes over AJ Styles, and the points. He gets 7 points in the Bound for Glory series. Again, one of my favorite matches of the night. TNA cannot be beat when it comes to their matches. Again, but really, really solid match. I would like to know what you guys think of this match. But we move on. Now, I know before I said there was too much of this week, but this actually ended up being one of my favorite segments of the night. And it was very uncomfortable at a point for me to watch. They have, it's gut check time, or as Pritchard said, gut check. Yeah, basically they bring this kid Chris Louis into the ring, and it was almost, from what I saw, it was a lamb to slaughter. And the worst part about it is, now this guy had a tough freaking life. His brother apparently got killed, and he's lived a tough life, and he's trying to support his family. So what do? They bring his wife and baby to ringside. That's wrestling. And I felt so bad. I mean, I hope this was a work. If it wasn't a work, anyway. So we have Chris Louis walk into the ring. Chris Louis, for some reason, for me, it looks like he always wants to cry. I mean, he's had a tough life. I don't blame him. But his wife and the baby's in the corner. And anyway, they go to Taz, and Taz basically, he states that he felt that Chris Louis was over his head. He didn't do well. So it was a no for him. They move on to Pritchard, and he basically said, man, you got to wake up from your dream, because this business is not for you. He didn't just say that TNA is not for you. He basically said you shouldn't be a professional wrestler. So it was a no by Pritchard. And they didn't even go to Al Snow. It was just over. Chris Louis, unfortunately, shakes their hands, walks out of the ring. Now, as everything is winding down, my boy, Mr. 87% Joey Ryan is freaking ringside with a megaphone, and he's calling Al Snow a corporate stooge. He's getting on his case. It is hilarious. And man, I could see it. There was a guy standing next to him holding a cup, and you could see Joey Ryan kind of peeking over. And when Al Snow turns his face, Joey Ryan grabs the cup out of the fan's hand and throws it in Al Snow's face. And Al Snow goes after Joey Ryan, man. Very funny. I don't know what's going to happen with Joey Ryan. I would like to know what you guys think of the Joey Ryan character. I think this kid has got it. I've actually watched a lot of his independent stuff. He is very good in the ring. He definitely has a great personality. And this angle with Al Snow, I actually think it's a good one to get him into TNA. Again, I don't know if the whole voting him out was a work. I don't know. You guys may think I do. I don't really know. But I want to see Joey Ryan in the ring, and I want to see where they're going to go with this. Anyway, we move on. Okay, so we see Joseph Park in the back, a.k.a. the lawyer, a.k.a. Brother of Abyss. Anyway, we see him backstage, and he basically offers his services to investigate the whole Aces and Eights situation to Hulk Hogan and Sting, who gladly accept. We move on to the main event, and we see Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle. And again, I will emphasize on this, ladies and gentlemen, TNA. A lot of people like to bash TNA. A lot of people like to make fun of TNA. A lot of people say that it's horrible writing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a wrestling fan, if you like the independent wrestling, if you like ROH, if you like a really good wrestling match, I mean, guys, on a weekly basis, there are very, very good wrestling matches on TNA. That's why I actually watch it. Not that I don't like the WWE. I'm a mark. I love the WWE. I love watching SmackDown and Raw. But I also really like watching TNA for what it is, and it's a real good wrestling program. Look, we go into the main event, and we have Jeff Hardy and Kurt Angle put together a fantastic match. Now, Jeff Hardy needs to win. Kurt Angle needs to win. They both need to win. Kurt Angle loses, he's out. And same thing with Jeff Hardy. Basically, we find a match where Jeff Hardy is in the ankle lock, and he actually kicks out, gets up, and hits a spinning back double kick to Kurt Angle, who goes down. Now, Jeff Hardy climbs the top rope, and he's about to hit the swanton. No, Kurt Angle actually climbs the second rope. You think he's going to hit him with a belly to back or belly to belly suplex off the top rope, but Jeff Hardy actually fights him off, and Jeff Hardy actually knocks him to the ground, and Jeff Hardy hits him with a flush, legit swanton bomb, and gets him for the 1, 2, 3. Kurt Angle is out of the BFG series. So now the top 5 guys, we have Jeff Hardy, who will face Samoa Joe next week, Bully Ray, who will face RVD, and Cowboy James Storm gets the bye. So he gets to face the winner of I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be a 3-way or how it's really going to work out. But Cowboy James Storm does get a bye to the next round. I guess he gets to select who his opponent's going to be for the number 1 contendership. I believe that's true. But anyway, we move on to the end of the show. So now we have Austin Aries in the ring with the title, and he is challenging. He wants to fight one of the Aces and Eights. Well, no sign of Aces and Eights, but Hulk Hogan and Sting do come down to the ramp, and they bring some backup with them. Bully Ray, AJ Styles, RVD, so on and so forth. They bring some boys down to the ring, and they say, look, man, if you're going to have a fight, we want to make it basically even, and we're going to have our boys looking out for you, champ. So basically, the champ calls out the Aces and Eights, and the Aces and Eights actually finally come out in full force. Now, he says, look, Hulk Hogan basically says, look, why don't you put your best against our best? Our champ is in the ring. Why don't you put your best guy into the ring? So basically, you see 2 little skinny Ace and Eights members come, and they open the guardrail, and this big friggin' guy wearing a mask comes into the ring, and they basically start fighting. Well, as soon as Austin Aries gets the upper hand, Aces and Eights rush the ring, and they start trying to jump Austin Aries. But then everybody comes into the ring, and all hell basically breaks loose. And while everything is happening all around the ring, and the TNA guys are fighting the Aces and Eights guys, poor freaking Austin Aries gets left alone in the ring, and some little dude, some little thin guy, actually, I think is one of the guys who opened the guard railing. We don't really know. Apparently, when he steps on the ring apron, you can see his face, his face is revealed, but then he puts the mask on. He goes in, he hits freaking Austin Aries with a blackjack, knocks him out. Bully Ray jumps in the ring, and he goes to check on Austin Aries. Ladies and gentlemen, who the heck are these guys? What do they want? What are they trying to do? Is this a group of disgruntled ex-employees, perhaps? I've said it. Is it Jeff? Is it Jeff Jarrett? Is it some new talent? Is it another independent promotion? Maybe coming to invade TNA. We don't know, ladies and gentlemen. But I always say this. This show is opinion-based only, so I want to hear your comments. I want to know your ideas of what you think. If you were booking next week's show, what would you do? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, again, I always say this. I would do this for a living. But if I can, I would do this anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You will catch me only here at OneWrestling.com or YouTube /OneWrestling Video. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next week. Peace.